Ms. Anderson, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, I was just waiting to see if anyone else was going to appear. Okay. All right, we will go on the record in the matter 23 CF 192, State of Wisconsin versus Justin Harshman. The state appears through District Attorney Kevin Schmidt in person. We have Justin Harshman appearing in person in custody. We're set here today in the treatment court termination hearing. A motion for termination of Mr. Harshman was made by at least one member of the treatment team and then seconded to terminate Mr. Harshman. The court was not a part of that process. We're here today based upon the motion in this case. Mr. Harshman, you do not have an attorney representing you. You would have the right to apply for a public defender to represent you in this matter if you wish to have an attorney. Do you wish to represent yourself here today?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. And so do you understand that an attorney would be in a better position to look at the matter, to look at the facts and see if there are any defenses or maybe in a better position to argue on your behalf here today?
I do.
And do you understand that there are certain disadvantages to not having an attorney?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
And so you wish to represent yourself, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Schmidt, this is your hearing. You may begin.
I call Leah Lineweber.
Ms. Lineweber, please come forward. Raise your right hand. Have a seat in the witness stand. You can swear her in.
You swear that the testimony you're about to give today in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. All righty. Mr. Schmidt.
Could you state your name for the record?
Yeah, Lineweber,
How are you employed?
employed through the Department of Corrections,
How long have you been so employed?
13 years.
What is your involvement with the Burnett County Treatment Court?
I'm the probation agent that is on the board.
And could you briefly describe what it is that you do on that?
I supervise Mr. Harshman and report to the team how he's doing.
Do you have treatment court responsibilities and you're Mr. Harshman's agent?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Harshman is in custody right now from conduct from August, correct?
Correct.
Could you briefly state what was the conduct triggering the termination from August?
Brief summary is drinking alcohol, using methamphetamines, drinking alcohol, consuming Suboxone, having an intimate relationship with another drug court member, lying about his use, providing alcohol to another treatment court participant. And that's the most I can recollect.
Okay, could you speak up a little bit? I'm hard of hearing. I caught most of that.
Okay.
So starting from the first thing you said using substances. Could you clarify what you meant by that?
Yes, using methamphetamine.
How do you know that?
He tested positive and he also admitted
Okay. Tested positive for what?
methamphetamines, amphetamines. And that's what I recall at this time.
Okay. You said something about a relationship with another treatment court participant. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes, there was another treatment court participant, and they had sexual relations for several days shortly before he went into custody.
Okay. How do you know that?
They both admitted to it.
And was that related to the Suboxone use?
Correct. She is prescribed Suboxone. He is not prescribed Suboxone. He did test positive for that, I believe. And he did admit to getting it from her on 2 different occasions. And he did actually possibly almost overdose and end up in the hospital because of it.
Why do you say that?
Because after he took it, he had trouble breathing and admitted it to the hospital personnel that that is what he took, was a Suboxone.
Was there any alcohol use associated with that event or the circumstances leading up to it?
I don't know about that event per se, but he did admit to drinking alcohol for the several weeks, couple weeks that he was consuming methamphetamines. In between the methamphetamines use, he would be consuming the alcohol.
Okay. Was he being tested for any of these substances during that period of time in August?
He was being tested
How was he coming up on the test results?
negative.
Do you have any explanation for why he's testing negative, but says he was using alcohol and controlled substances?
Because he would stop using when he knew that he had a report. And there were times when he did call and say, I'm sick, I can't come in. And the belief is that he was just needing a little more time to get it out of his system before he came in.
When you say the belief, do you mean your belief?
My belief, yes.
Okay. So the testing paradigm in Burnett County is not truly random. Participants know when they're going to be tested?
For the most part, yes.
Okay. Aside from the Suboxone, in the past, did he use any other substances without seeking permission from the treatment court?
Yes, he did. He started consuming testosterone intravenously for the 3 months before he went into custody.
Okay. You said something else about serving a participant alcohol. Could you elaborate on that?
Both the participants worked at T-Dogs, and there was one occasion where Justin did serve the other participant alcohol.
Did Justin offer an explanation as to why his behavior spiraled out during this period of August and before?
Due to the other participant continuously consuming alcohol and getting away with it. He said
Voting
that-
about it even?
Yes,
And that rankled him.
yes.
Okay. In terms of participation in services in treatment court, how has Justin Harshman been doing on that front? And by services, I don't just mean substance abuse, but all services required by the treatment court.
He was required to do meetings, AANA meetings of the equivalent, and he did struggle with that. He claimed that they did not work for him and they made him want to use. He was warned numerous times to get the meetings done and get the meeting slips in, and he struggled to do so.
In fact, he's had past sanctions for that
Correct,
and for bad attitude.
correct.
I believe was that June?
Yes,
I think I just referenced bad attitude and him being in jail for that, as well as missing meetings. How has Justin Harshman's attitude towards the treatment court been since he started towards now?
it's always been a struggle. An example is in the beginning, I gave him a drug court workbook, and it took him 5 months to complete it. He only brought it in about 50% of the time, or he worked on it only 50% of the time. So that was a struggle. He always struggled with the requirements of drug court and felt it was too much for him. He mentioned numerous times that he wanted to just terminate himself. They did a round table discussion with him to try to get his perspective of everything. And I was not there, but my understanding of what I was told was that at the end of the discussion, he let his feelings be known about how much he did not want to be in drug court. He told me after the fact that he thought everyone had a preconceived notion about him, and no matter what he said, it was not going to change. And I don't recall the second thing he told me. There was one other point I was going to mention, but I don't remember it right now.
You've mentioned a number of examples of his attitude in the presence of either the treatment court or yourself. Has there been any issues with his attitude either in treatment or with other drug court participants?
In treatment?
Yes. Or other drug court participants?
I do know that when he was in jail, incarcerated with 2 other drug court participants, they asked to be moved because of his negative attitude about drug court.
Which time when he was in jail?
This last time.
So right now?
Yes,
Okay, since August.
correct.
How long has Justin Harshman been in the treatment court?
A year and 4 months.
What phase is he in?
4.
Oh, one thing I forgot to ask earlier, so I'm looping back here. What are the consequences or the repercussions of treatment court participants having an intimate relationship on services?
One of the things that happens is that they are not allowed to be in group at the same time. And that is a big struggle because we only have one AODA provider in Burnett County. So it would cause a lot of disturbances with treatment.
So it affects the availability of services for both participants.
Correct.
One second, just reading one thing. So you said that Mr. Harshman is in phase 4 of the program. What is expected of a participant once they're at phase 4?
The expectations would be, they know the general rules and expectations, the honesty situation. If they do use, they need to be honest about it and not lie about it. They should have already completed MRT, which he did. And as far as like requirements as for money or meeting slips, I'm not the one to ask for that.
I'm just talking broad strokes, like what does a phase 4 participant who's completed the first 3 phases, how do we look at them versus phase 1 or phase 2?
They generally have things in place and things are going good for them, and sobriety is going good. They have a good support network surrounding them. They are most always, or should be employed at that point.
What is Mr. Harshman's support network?
His father is a good support network for him. He had a sponsor, but he did fire his sponsor. He had been in mental health treatment, but he did quit going to mental health treatment. Other than that, I mean, the drug court team itself was there for him if you'd reach out to them.
Aside from the sponsor, which he didn't have anymore at some point, did he have like friends or anything from AA or NA groups?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And that would have been something you would have regularly talked to him about as his agent.
We probably would have had discussions about who are you hanging around with and things like that.
Okay.
This is the turning point of the hearing. The testimony has moved beyond a single relapse and into a broader discussion about repeated violations of treatment court rules, including honesty, participation, and conduct that allegedly affected other participants in the program. Treatment courts are designed to support recovery, but they also require participants to follow strict conditions throughout the process. The court is now evaluating not only what happened, but whether the defendant can continue participating under those expectations. Emotionally, this is where the pressure becomes undeniable because the hearing shifts from individual mistakes to their overall impact on the program. What do you think? Should someone receive another opportunity after multiple violations? Or does there come a point when the court has no reasonable alternative? Let's return to the courtroom as Justin Harshman addresses the allegations in his own words.
I think Leah covered it, yes.
Okay, I have no other witnesses.
All right. Mr. Harshman, do you have any witnesses other than yourself, perhaps? No, okay. You do not have to testify or to provide any statement to the court if you don't wish to do so. But you do have the right as well. This is a hearing where the rules of evidence don't apply, so hearsay can be admitted. So things that were told you from other people outside of court can be used in this type of process. So I think that's pretty much what you need to know. Okay.
I would just, I would just like to say, like I'm really appalled by, what I did. I've had a lot of time to think about that, all that stuff, and had a real big awakening, attitude adjustment, a lot of acceptance that I've taken since, and that's just kind of where I'm at now. It's whatever's, with me, with drug court, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And, I got the Lord on my side, and he'll get me through whatever I need to get through. I really ask for forgiveness for y'all, and it was just, what I did was wrong, and it was no one else's fault but mine. I had a really bad attitude, and I don't plan to have that attitude anymore. And I know that from now on, I need to rely on my Father more than to talk, and not other people, and the drug court team, and my probation officer and Dave, and all of them. I should have been calling, and I made the mistake of making that phone call when I did first relapse, but I didn't admit to it. But there's a lot of things I would do different if I did get to try again. But I'm just at the point now to where I'm just ready to accept whatever's going to happen. So.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any questions for Mr. Schmidt?
I believe you wanted to indicate you do have a sponsor. Would you like to share with the judge more information about that?
I started working with a new sponsor, Austin from Grantsburg. Since I've been in here, I've read the big book, reading the 12 steps, and the big book was very inspirational, very relatable. And I didn't realize that it was going to hit home like that whenever I did read it. And, whenever I do get out, I know that I'm going to hop right in, and I'm going to start working my steps, and, because I really need to do those. And, because I think that's going to be a big part for me spiritually with the Lord, and through having AA, being able to put those both together and work through and keep sobriety going.
Have you ever done inpatient treatment?
No, sir.
So that's a service you have not had the opportunity to avail yourself of before being terminated.
No, sir.
If you had the opportunity to do that before termination, is that something you'd agree to if the judge did not terminate you today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no other questions.
All righty, anything that you would like to add since Mr. Schmidt asked you questions? Anything about any additional information off of those?
No, I've been doing a lot of self-help, and really focusing on my personal relationship again with God after that near-death kind of experience. It's weighed on me a lot. I think about it a lot.
Okay, Mr. Schmidt, argument.
Judge, I'm asking the court to terminate Justin Harshman from the treatment court program. There are multiple reasons why we would do a termination on somebody. Sometimes a person might do an offense so serious it's necessitated by the gravity. Sometimes they might be a risk to the community so great that it just has to be done. Sometimes we might do it because a person has simply exhausted all the resources available in the program. There's nothing more we can do for them. This isn't one of those cases. This is a case where the treatment court needs to terminate Mr. Harshman because he's been in the program for an extremely long period of time. He's had a pervasive negative attitude about the program. If that were it, I wouldn't be asking for termination because most people who go into this program have a negative attitude about it. Most people are, well, every person who enters in this program is medium or high risk, medium, high need. They are entrenched in substance abuse. They're entrenched in criminal thinking. I don't like that term. They're entrenched in poor cognitive thinking. They're entrenched in patterns of thought that are self-defeating. And the reason they're so entrenched is they've lived a life where that's been almost a coping mechanism. It's how they've survived. It's how they've successfully gotten through a lot of things. The problem here is that has metastasized beyond one person and affected a whole bunch of other treatment court participants. We had 3 people go into custody based off of this pattern of behavior. And it doesn't just involve spreading the negative, feelings about it. It involves giving actual alcohol to another treatment court participant. It involves entering into an intimate relationship with another treatment court participant. With how hard it is to find resources, especially for women here, it directly hurts the program for other people. Other people were sabotaged. And for the same reason, we don't allow drug dealers to be in the program because they would always pose a risk to other people in the program just by existing in it. We can't have people with such a pervasive negative attitude about the program not working, about being able to use while in the program while it's going on, especially when, to be blunt, Mr. Harshman is a very charismatic, well-spoken, clever person who is very convincing and very intelligent. And he would be extremely effective and persuasive to the types of people who are on the treatment court. The reason I'm asking to terminate Mr. Harshman is because I think he's just too dangerous for the other participants in the program and the program itself. I would hope he would avail himself of future resources in the future. The reason why I did ask those questions of him when he testified was because I think that's what his defense attorney would try to develop as what his defense would be. So it was just the fair thing to do. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Harshman, argument.
I mean, what everyone said, was what happened. I mean, it was all true. I did do all those things. I'm not going to say what, I'm not going to disagree. I believe that, I guess I did have a negative effect around people because of my attitude and things like that. Also, forgot to say, I did start taking medication since I've been in jail to work on my attitude and the way I think about things. But I really, I don't disagree with you, Mr. Schmidt. So.
Thank you, Mr. Harshman. The things that Mr. Schmidt said about you, I mean, those are the things that have been said about you in our treatment court, and that I have had the pleasure of seeing. You're very charismatic. You have a big heart. You have a soul. You want to do right. You have this personality that people just flock to and they want to follow. You could be such a significant and powerful leader if that was your focus and your focus was on positive things. You truly, truly could be. In a termination hearing, the court just needs to find some things that the participant did that violated the policies. And as Mr. Schmidt stated, there's multiple things. One of them is the failure to comply with the treatment or supervision requirements and to engage yourself in the program. If that was it, and that was the only thing that we were looking at here, as Mr. Schmidt said, this wouldn't be something we'd look at for termination, because we've had participants that have had the same pushback, very strong pushback. But then in the process of going through, something clicks and then they give. And then they accept themselves and they accept their sobriety and they accept that they're weak and they need to rebuild themselves to become strong. Mr. Harshman, I don't say these things to be harsh or to be cruel. You put on a persona of strength, even though I don't believe you feel you're that strong. I think that you want people to feel that you have everything together and you have it all in place. You know what to do and you're going to do it, and it's your mind over matter. Those are good positive traits if you believe them. I think you have a lot of trauma that you have not worked through. You have a lot of trauma that you have fought in treatment court, and that has in fact got in your way because you haven't succumbed, you haven't given in to those things, and you haven't allowed yourself to hit that rock bottom. And you have to be able to get yourself up. And until you're willing to do that, you're not going to move forward. And with treatment court here, again, just failing to comply with the requirements, that is a violation in and of itself. But then the fact is it was like you became a poison, like a cancer, and you spread, and you're failing to adhere to the requirements. Again, you are a natural leader. Others are not, they are followers. And it caused a destruction and a devastation to the very core of our treatment court. And that's an issue on top of the relapsing. And then we're dealing with the other issue with the Suboxone and those types of things. In a termination hearing, it's such a small burden. It's preponderance of the evidence, whether a violation occurred and whether or not the court, the judge and the judge's discretion believes that that violation is something that can be worked around and we can continue to build and move forward. With the violations that are in front of the court and how it went down, I find that not only has the state met its burden to prove the violations and to prove the failing to comply, but in my discretion, I do believe that not only is it in the treatment court's best interest to terminate, but hopefully this will be something that will help you. I know you didn't want to be in treatment court. I know you wanted to get done as quickly as practically possible to go to one of the Carolinas or to do something of that nature. Mr. Harshman, you have a good heart and a good soul. Please give in and work on your traumas You have two beautiful little boys and they need you. So please work on your traumas and work through that. And you are a very smart individual too. How you aced that class in like no time. You know, you really could move far and do well if you put your mind to it. Okay,
This
the court is
hearing
gonna
ends with
terminate
Judge
as it
Melissa
relates to
R.
Mr. Harshman.
Mogen ordering Justin Harshman's
let's move on
termination
now
from the treatment
to
court program
Ian
after
Magnuson.
finding that the violations had been proven and
Thank
that
you,
continuing in the program was no longer appropriate. Even while explaining the reasons for the decision, the judge acknowledged his positive qualities,
Okay, Ken.
encouraged him to work through his personal trauma,
Ms.
and
Anderson, I'm
expressed
going to put
hope
the
that he
court
could
into the
still
waiting
build
room.
a
It'll
better
be just a
future.
moment.
I have no further questions for this witness.
All right, thank you. Mr. Harshman, do you have questions for Ms. Lineweber?
Um, so I didn't tell you that I got a new sponsor?
Believe you did at the very end, but I don't remember any of the details.
Just, but no other questions?
All right, any redirect?
No.
You may step down. Thank you. Next witness.
Before I decide that, Ms. Anderson, is there anything I covered with Leah that you wanted to add or that you think needs to be added?
Oh, she can't unless it's through testimony.
Well, I'm just asking her that because I got everything I think I needed out of Leah.